The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, good evening. My name is Roy Ryer at SEOTrainingSW.com, and welcome to our webinar this evening on local search questions and answers. What we're going to be doing is we're going to change this up from our typical webinars. This is going to be more of a question and answer type of format. What we've done is we've taken a lot of questions we've been asked, our staff and myself have been asked over the last 6 months, and we kind of compiled them. And we're going to be opening up our presentation this evening, discussing or reviewing those particular questions and then answering them. I'm sure a lot of you that are on this call this evening are going to be seeing some of these questions that you might have been, wondering yourself about. And any particular, if we don't answer your particular question, we'll be opening up our mics and be taking your questions and answering them. And also what we're going to be doing this evening is we're going to be awarding 2 free SEO training programs from our intensive workshop that we had 2 weeks ago. The videos, we'll discuss a little bit about that, what that's all about as we progress during this presentation this evening. A little bit about ourselves. This is the first time you've ever been on one of our webinars, the first time you've been on our website. My name is Roy Ryer, CEO and founder of SEOTrainingSW.com. I'm a certified SEO Master SEO consultant and trainer. I've been doing internet marketing since around 1996 with my first launch of my website called RadarBusters.com that we subsequently sold. But on our website, we have a lot of free SEO training, a lot of free training videos, a lot of articles that will get you started, or if you're even advanced in internet marketing, we have a lot of advanced training. We have recordings of our past webinars on our website. So just go to, if you want to look at our free SEO training, our videos specifically, just click on the link above in the menu bar. It says free SEO training, and you can access our free training videos that way. Our SEO tips area, this is where we have a lot of our articles and blog posts that have things to do with SEO training or things that are going on in our SEO community. And again, a lot of this stuff we have on our website is free, or most of the stuff we have on our website is free. And the only thing we ask in turn is, please share the love. On our left-hand navigation bar, you're going to see some of the social share buttons. Please press, those if you like us. Please share the love. This is the way we get the word out. We help grow, our following. We get more people on our webinars, and subsequently, hopefully, we get more people in our workshops. So you kind of help us pay the electric bills on this kind of free stuff. So, please take a moment. It only takes a few seconds to click one of those buttons. Google Plus us, Facebook like us, tweet about us, and please share the love. That's the only thing we ask. And then if you have a comment or question about any of our videos, if you're watching this video on a replay, if you're reading of any articles, we have comment areas below our posts. Type in your question. We'll answer it. If you like the video, you like the article, please type in a comment. Tell us. Let us know how we're doing. It helps us and it helps you. Just one little announcement we're going to make about some of our newer SEO training programs we have. This is our SEO training at home. These are video recordings of our past workshops. And about 2 weeks ago, we had 3 intensive SEO training workshops. The first one was with Amanda Vega. She's the CEO of Amanda Vega, which is a public relations agency based here in Phoenix, but they also have offices in New York City, Orange County, Shanghai, and also in England. This is a little 2-hour videos about public relations, how to write press releases, how to use social media for your public relations. Real good training program. And you also get a book. And that's only $47. You also get the PDFs from that presentation. Those of you that might be interested in reputation management, we have a reputation management course, 4 hours of video from Fabiano Mora. Those of you that do SEO for clients, sooner or later, you're going to get the opportunity, or one of your clients are going to contact you and say, hey, I got some bad stuff, some bad comments, some bad reviews. Can you help me clean it up? And we do this for client work, and actually that's one of Fabiano's focuses, and a lot of money to be made on that. Typically, it's similar to SEO, but you're going to be really taking it to scale. You might even use some black hat stuff. This might be the only time. This is the only time we talk about anything about black hat stuff, because what you need to do, what your client wants you to do, is get stuff out there quickly and push down the bad, negative stuff about them. So you can learn how to engage some of the black hat stuff and learn a little bit about the black hat stuff that's out there. And again, this is the only time we talk about it or tell anything about black hat stuff. And those of you that are interested in learning about Facebook marketing, we have a 6-hour video training course with Bruce Safran, who's a social media strategist. He's based out of LA. Real good Facebook marketer. He doesn't like to admit it, but he really is. But anyway, that's the training on that. That's a 97 for 6 hours of video, also the PDFs. If you'd like to learn more about these 3 programs or the other training programs we have, just go to our website, SEOtraining.com. Go click on the link that says SEO Training to Go. And what's really cool about this training, guys, these are actually recorded in our workshops. So it's going to save you a lot of time and money. Airfare, gasoline, hotel, or whatever. And you could actually, same quality of SEO training. You also could ask us questions, but you're going to have to ask those by email. So anyway, learn more about that. So we'll get started here in a few moments. And again, I'd like to remind you that we'll be giving 2 of Amanda's programs away for free tonight. To the 2 best questions that were asked. So during the presentation, there's going to be a little question box, and go to meeting. If you got a question, type it in, and towards the end of the presentation, we'll answer as many questions as we can. And then the 2 best questions will award the PR in a jar. So let's get started. Again, what we'll be discussing tonight is Google local questions and answers. One of the most common questions we're asked by people just starting off in local search or local business is, what's the process of creating a Google Plus page for my business? We could spend hours on this. Actually, this is what the workshop's all about that we're going to be having next month. But this is the Cliff Notes version. If you haven't already, create a Google Plus page for your business. Go to plus.google.com and choose local business as the type of page you have. And you could access this if you look in the right image. This is my Google Plus account profile. You're going to need to have a Google Plus profile, and that's a little bit basically about you, who you are. Maybe your picture, some information about yourself. And right alongside your picture, you're going to see a little drop-down arrow. Click on that drop-down arrow, and then on the bottom of it, you add an account. And this will go through the process on how to do that. And then, if you have not already done so, create a more traditional Google local page, Google Places page. And you access that by going to google.com/places for business. And there's going to be a form that you fill out, a little bit about your business, your website, your email address, the categories you're going to be in. Take your time, answer those as best as you can. Fill it out as completely as you can. And please remember to make sure that what we call NAP, name, address, and phone number, matches on both pages. Also on anything you do. You want to try to have your NAP consistent throughout your entire internet sphere, I guess you call it. So do that. Now, it doesn't matter what progression you do this in. You could do the Google Plus first or Google Places first, but you need to do both of these. Now, so this is basically once you create your Google Plus page, you're going to go through the verification prompts. There's going to be a little button there, Verify Now. You're going to click that little button, and typically about 3 or 4 days, you'll have a postcard in the mail. Once you get that postcard, you're going to revisit your Plus page, and then click on the Verify Now. And you're going to want to enter the PIN number that's on that postcard. And basically, you've got your page created. Now, the next step is the optimization. Now, not only do you have to optimize your Google Plus profile, your Google Places profile, but if you have a website, you're going to need to optimize that. And we're going to be talking a little bit during this presentation on some of the things you should focus on on your optimization. There's a lot of stuff to consider optimizing. There's actually about what we've counted out is about 84 positive ranking factors, things you'd want to focus on and optimizing. And then there's actually 19 negative factors. If you do something wrong, these really could impact you in a negative sense. A couple of the positive ranking factors is, well, you make sure that whatever city, whatever business that you want to optimize for is in the city you want it to optimize for. Make sure that you verify your particular places page, and make sure you have the proper categories. So this is a whole list. In our workshop, our one-day workshop, we go through all of these and how they relate, and we work with you on making sure that everything is optimized. As far as a negative ranking factor, one of those would be having an 800 number on your local website. Typically, local businesses do not have 800 numbers, and that's a red flag that goes up. So if you have a local business and you have an 800 number, if you need to keep it up there, you might make it an image rather than HTML, so Google can't read what that's all about. This is a question we were asked by a painting contractor outside of Surprise, Arizona. They own a painting company with one location, and they actually work out of their home. But they like to service the surrounding communities, like the Sun City areas, Surprise, Phoenix, Anthem, and these are all different towns. And then we're asking how can they rank for those surrounding cities. Well, Google will generally only allow you to rank for the city your address you're located, but there are exceptions, and very few. So here's some tips on how to take advantage of some of those exceptions. The first one is basically, this is a painting contractor we work with outside of Wickenburg. And in their service area, we chose to use zip codes. And you can see on this right-hand side in this image, they're based in Wickenburg, but by using the zip codes, we're encompassing other communities around the Wickenburg area, such as Congress, Aguila, Surprise. So you could use the zip code method and kind of expanding out your circle. Don't make that circle so big, really big. All right, try to keep it encapsulated to an area that you actually work in. The greater your area, the less of a chance you're going to have to rank. So that's service area tip number one. Service area number two, this is a real good tip, is to get real addresses in those cities you want to rank in. You want to avoid UPS boxes by Google knows where every UPS store is in the United States, and Google can kind of figure out if you're using a UPS address, and they don't like them, and they will actually ban your account. But go out. You don't have to rent a storefront. Perhaps you can work a deal out with. Let's say you're an exterminator and you exterminate a flower shop. Well, you could talk to the flower shop and say, look, could I borrow a little table here in the corner? Just put my mail down here, and I'll give you a little discount on your exterminating fee or whatever. And make that a suite. That address, like that could be Suite B, Suite C. So that's a little service area. You want to get real addresses. Also, there's companies that have virtual addresses. If you go to Google and type in virtual business address, you'll see companies that specialize in this particular service. Service area tip number three is to build out content on your website to include these other locations. Extremely important, guys. And when we talk about content, it's not only about written content. You also got to consider the other assets that you have, such as videos, such as images. What's cool about images, you could geotag those images. If you have an iPhone or an Android, the camera, typically what those are going to do is geocode the latitude and longitude right on that image. And as long as you don't get fancy with some image editing, it's going to stay embedded in that particular image. So those are going to be an advantage of you use. Also, there are programs that you can use to edit these out later on. Videos are real easy to geotag, especially in YouTube. Just go to the Advanced tab, and you can enter the location where that image was taken. So that's a tip on that. This was a question was one of our students that went through our local search training a couple years ago. they had their Google account banned, and because Google felt that they were soliciting reviews. Why? Why would Google ban you if you're soliciting reviews? Well, actually, if you read the terms of service, Google says quite plainly in there that if they feel that you're soliciting reviews, offering discounts, giving away things for free for reviews, that it's against their terms of service, so they could ban their account. You don't own that account, by the way. Google owns your account, so they could turn it off anytime they want. But here's some tips on how you can avoid getting your account banned. Again, you can't solicit, but you can always educate. You could educate your clients about other review sites that are out there. Google's not the only player, guys. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to diversify, especially when you get your reviews. So you have Angie's List. There's one of them, Yelp. And you have Foursquare. Go out and educate your clients about these services that are out there. And be very, very careful with Yelp. If your client never used Yelp before, and you don't think they're going to use Yelp after they give you a review, don't encourage them to use Yelp. Yelp is all about Yelpers. A Yelper is basically somebody that uses Yelp quite frequently to leave reviews. Same thing with Google. The more trusted the reviewer is, the more weight that review has. And let me get a little drink here real quick. Got a little sore throat. I apologize if I sound a little raspy tonight. But, educate. Nothing wrong with educating them, and encourage them to leave reviews at other locations. Not only your review. They go to a restaurant, ask them to leave a review about that restaurant. Because the more trusted they become, the more effective their review is going to be on your website or on in your page. Educate them about check-ins. Check-ins do carry a lot of weight. Your Facebook check-ins, your Google Plus check-ins, your Foursquare check-ins. So teach them about this. This works if you have a local-based brick-and-mortar business, of course. If you're a painting contractor, your exterminator, it's not going to really do any good for them to check in at their own house. All right? So you're going to have a based business for the check-ins to work. Next question is about reviews. Do reviews from other sources help with my ranking with Google? Yes, they do. And basically, Google has a patent that discusses that. And basically what this patent says is that they do look at other review sites and the amount of reviews as a ranking factor. So they will go out to Yelp, they will go out to Foursquare, and they'll go out to these other places and look at the social check-ins and the reviews. So it's really going to help you out. Next question is about submission questions. What do you think about those third-party services that will submit your business listing to various services like Localese, Yext, Axiom? Well, what my preference is I would claim them myself and edit them by hand to make sure everything, again, is consistent through the entire sphere, that my NAP is consistent. Sometimes these services kind of mess things up. And the bad thing is that if they do mess them up, you don't have the login information. You go back and change that. And you have to go through the entire process of reclaiming it. And it could be a real hassle, and this really can mess you up. But so, at least go out and claim the most important notable citation sources in your niche. And then you can go out and use those services for the less important ones. There's, literally hundreds and hundreds of these. But, concentrate on the most important, like Angie's List, Best of the Web, Yahoo, Bing. Backlink question. Would it help if I build backlinks to my reviews on my Google Plus page, Yelp, and Foursquare? Well, actually, no. It will not help you. People generally build links to things that they like. So it would look unnatural if you have a bunch of links going to a review. Hey, I liked Charlie's Pizzeria. Real good pizza. Why would there be a bunch of reviews going to that? It looks unnatural. Also, Google has discounted many of the directories that are out there with the Panda update. So if it's a directory type of review site, it's not going to help you out because of the Panda update. And Google's becoming more social. So here's some tips, some other things you could do with backlinks. If somebody does leave you a good review on Facebook or Google Plus, you could basically share the love and thank that person. With Twitter, hey, I got a great review on from George, and maybe link to that review and then link to your website and talk about that and thank the people that leave you reviews. But this is where you really need to focus on. You need to focus on, likes and comments and links to your awesome content. And this is going to be the content on your website, your YouTube videos, if you have any videos. I really recommend that you do if you really want to knock it out of the ballpark. And then your social sites. You want to become social and get Google +1s, likes for your social content on your particular pages. This is where you need to focus your attention on. Where should you focus on and get your attention? Where do you get all these backlinks? Well, here's a little tip. Write articles and contact people in your niche or your community where you can have those articles posted on. We recently we do this if you are if you're into SEO and you write a really great SEO article. You could and you contact me. We'll actually place your article on our website, SEOTrainingSW.com, and then you can put a link on it going back to your website. And we have one that was published just here last week from a SEO consulting firm, a marketing firm in Scottsdale, Arizona. Real good article. And we published it, and they have a link to their website. Share the guest posts, citations and mentions on local sites. What a citation is basically a mention of your business without a link. It'd be your address, your phone number, anything in your NAP. So that's going to help you out. Having a quality microsites are going to help you out. Make sure that they're quality. What a microsite are mini websites. When I had Radar Busters, I had a bunch of these. I had one website that teach you how to put a radar detector on a Harley Davidson, stealthhog.com. About 8 or 9 pages, good quality information. If somebody want to learn how to put a radar detector on a Harley, they would go to there. Stealthhog.com. Teach you how to put a radar detector on a street bike. So build out these microsites. Make sure they're good quality microsites. Local newspapers. A newspaper does an article about you. Typically, newspapers will have PDF versions of their newspaper, and in that article, there will be your NAP, your name, address, how to contact you, your phone number, information about you. So this is going to help you out in getting quality links to your back sites. And again, of course, the social links. Social mentions about you, links to your business, check-ins, and things like that. So that's some of the things you need to focus on and work on. The next thing, do you recommend creating a landing page for each on your website for each locations of your business? Most definitely. We spoke about that a little earlier. If you have several locations, you want to create a separate page for each of those locations. Put unique content on those particular pages. Unique name and address, NAP. Again, you're going to hear NAP over and over again when you get in a local search. Name, address, and phone number. It's very, very important. And used in the microdata format, to schema.org. Your content, videos, geotagged photos, geotagged videos. We spoke about that. So having unique content out there. The goal of this, guys, is you need to have unique content for all these pages. Google Maps questions next. I do not service customers at my location. Should I hide the location of my business? Well, yes. In fact, Google has this in their guidelines for maps. They basically say if you don't hide your address, if you're a service business and you work out of your home, your listing may be removed from Google Maps. So you just go to the little link, do not show my business address on my maps listing option within your dashboard, and you could do that. Recommend that if you're a service business and you're working out of your home. I love this next question. This actually came in yesterday. It was from a sex therapist. And she goes, hey, none of my clients are going to leave reviews about my business or services because they don't want to be associated with a sex therapist. What can I do? Help me. Well, think of other associates in your niche that you could turn to, referrals, doctors. Hey, I've known so-and-so for a long time. I refer a lot of my patients to her. She's class act, blah, 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 blah. So that's going to help you out in that respect. Also, just think about DUI attorneys having the same thing. I'm sure if you got arrested for DUI or, they have the clients for DUI, they're not going to want to, I really like the law firm of Smith & Jones. They got me out of my DUI ticket. Not a real good review because your friends might find out about it, right? So, a lot of businesses are in a jam like that. But there are other ways you can go around do that. Google verification problem. Let's say you enter your PIN number on your postcard and it's been 6-7 weeks and it still says verification pending. Well, now, really cool. This is something Google started just about a month or so ago. They have Google now offers phone support. So if you use that link right here on the bottom of this slide, and you'll go to this particular form, and they have a series of questions that you're going to be asked about the verification process. And at the end of that, you're going to put your phone number in there, and Google's going to call you up. And you're going to speak to a real live person. Really, So this only works for Google verification problems. I wish it would work for a lot of other things. But this is how you could get that cleaned up. Another Google Plus problem. This was actually a question was from last week's meetup. We had somebody there that they were on the first page of Google, both organically and in places. And once they activated their Google Plus account, they got smacked down. Now, none of their, they only have one listing that's showing up. They want to know what happened. Well, what Google does now is they only show one URL of a site on a page if Google Plus is showing in the results. So only one URL. So if it's in your Google Plus page, that's not going to show up. It's only going to show that one time. So therefore, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create a separate organic landing page for your organic keyword phrases. So if you want to show up for Scottsdale house cleaning, and that's your URL, you're going to have to create a separate landing page and optimize that for that particular link or your particular article. Our next question is about container addresses or locations problems. The question is, my business is located within another business location with the same address. What do you suggest? This came into play with one of our clients. They have a decorative rock business where they sell decorative rock, and they're located within a auto repair shop here in Wickenburg, Arizona. They have a desk is really all they have. You come into the location and you choose your decorative rock, and they send out a truck and deliver it. And we had a lot of problems with Google listing that business. So basically, and this is another problem, like, another example would be a Starbucks inside a Safeway store or a supermarket. So this is Google guidelines. Basically, what they're recommending is that you would specify the container store in parentheses in the business field name. For example, Starbucks, parentheses, inside Safeway. So right there in your Google Places listing is how you would fix that. Next question deals with multiple services problem. And the question was from an attorney. Our law practice specializes in different services, i.e. family law, bankruptcy, criminal law. And they have different websites for each of their practices. Can we add all these different websites to their G Plus account? Well, no. Because basically you cannot have more than one listing in Google Places or Google Plus for Business or one website. So what you're going to want to do is optimize the best one for your Google Maps and include that in your Google Places and your Google Plus page. And then as far as organic results, it really doesn't matter. You could have all these other websites, and organically, if you optimize them well, they should rank. But here's what we suggest. You want to optimize these sites based on the attorney specializing in these specific practices. The same thing true with realtors. We also deal with this a lot, when we come with real estate offices. Century 21 has several realtors inside the building, and really typically own their own type of little business. They're all subcontract employees. And so what we do is with the attorneys or these realtors, is we create their own Google Plus page for business, their own Google Local Plus page for their business, and it's all about them. That the specific realtor. So you would create these Google Plus profiles. You want to create a Google authorship profile, places page based on each attorney, realtor, or when you have this particular problem, and then connect that particular website to that particular person. The last is going to be a tip. I'm not often asked this, but if I was to give one tip and share that with you for local SEO, what would that be? Well, this is going to hold true for anything with SEO and internet marketing, and that's going to be diversify. Don't rely only on Google. Sooner or later, you're going to get smacked down, and if you rely only on Google, people are going to stop coming through that door. There are other ways you can market your business, other review sites. You have Yelp, and Siri is using Yelp now. You have Bing, you have Yahoo, and you have the other ways you can market your business. So anyway, this is what you're going to want to do. Don't put everything into your one local business. Okay, we're going to be opening our mics here in just a few moments. And again, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take the best question that we're asked this evening, our special prize towards the end of this presentation. I have a UPS store address for my company. Hi, my address in Google. This is from Mark. I'm not going to say your last name, Mark. I put the UPS store address on my company webpage. Will Google penalize you for this? Yes, they will. Once Google finds that out, your Google Places page, your Google Plus page is going to be banned. Take it down. Get rid of it. Change that right away, Mark. It's a pain in the butt to resurrect everything. Google knows if you have a UPS box, so please don't do that. It doesn't work. Now it's there, okay? I have a doctor that was with another practice and listed under Google Plus, but this is from Roger Matthews, by the way, Jeanette. Roger has a doctor that was in another practice and listed under Google Plus, but then started her own practice and had a falling out with the old practice. Is there any way to remove the old listing? And I would assume that this old listing is under the other doctor's Google Plus account. I wouldn't worry. Without getting into some legal hassle and writing some nasty letters back and forth, it's going to be difficult. Google's going to probably, give you some problems. You might try the Google verification process if there's a verification problem with the new business, but you're just going to have to create the new listing, verify that listing, go through the entire process again. Hopefully the doctor now has a new website, build that out, get better content for that doctor, optimize the content a little bit better that the old practice did. You know how to do this. It's not really that difficult to do. So go out there and just, kick this other practice's butt is the bottom line, Roger. It's going to take you a little work, and it's going to take an investment from that doctor to get up there, but it's going to be worth his time and effort, and hopefully it's going to be worth your time and effort to do that. I'm just going to have to start all over again. And other than sending letters back and forth, no. Is it good idea to add a business to my own Google Analytics account or Webmaster's Tool account, or would it be better to make their own account and just avoid this step? How I do this, all the accounts I create are for that other business. And then like Google Webmaster's account, your Google Analytics account, you can sign in there, get access to that account as being an administrator. And actually, Google Places, I don't know if they started this yet, but I know they're going through the process of allowing administrators to Google Places accounts. So if you have a Google Places account you create for a local business, you then can, when this is all done, and again, I don't know, I know they're in the process of doing this, then get access to that with your typical Google account. So, you know, the problem comes up if you get fired. Well, let me give you a better example. We had a student that was basically had all the doctors and all his clients in his one Google account. And one of those accounts got banned because of all these reviews that were being solicited. Well, it impacted his others because those were in the same account. So also there's going to be a problem, if they fire you, how are you going to get that out of the account? So please do yourself and your client a favor by creating their own account. And then Webmaster Tools and Analytics is real easy. You just set up an administrator account for that, and that's going to be happening if not already implemented in Google Places. I know they're going through the process of that. And that question was from Pete Bass, Jeanette, by the way. This is a question from Roger. Some SERPs list a site and show 5-6 categories in the listing. What do you need to do SEO-wise to make that happen? Well, this is going through the spreadsheet that we teach in our class. But you're going to need to add those categories in your Google Places account. And be very particular in adding those. They only allow you so many. But then you can also go into the comment area and not by link spamming or content spamming, kind of just add those into some of the keyword profile in the description of the business. Also the comment area. You have an area down on the bottom of your Places profile where you can add additional comments. So you could have, we also service or do this. Sometimes that helps out. And also, remember to do this on your website. List these categories on your website. This as the NAP is important, your name, address, and phone number. You also want to remember keeping the categories that your business is associated with congruent through the entire webosphere or ecosphere, if you want to call it that. And that was from Roger Matthews. How do you do check-ins service type for painting contractors? You can't, because it ain't going to happen. But for businesses that are brick and mortar, this for Mark Rutter, for local brick and mortar locations, this is what helps. There's no way that I know of to do check-ins for service-based like an exterminator or a painting contractor or anything like that. Oh, Mark, how do I get a homeless guy to hold a sign like that? Well, Mark, what you do when you see the homeless guy, you make up the car. There's homeless guys all over in the Phoenix area. I know there's a lot of them up by Jeanette in Vegas. You make up the homeless sign. You find a homeless guy. You give him $10. You take his picture. All right, real easy on how you do that. Thank you for that question. Is there a best method for getting press release out to a bunch of newspapers? Pete Bass. Press releases, I typically don't focus on the free press release sites. I focus most of my attention using PR Web, and I'm not discounting the free press release sites because there are some good ones out there. But again, what we typically do is we charge the client. If you want press releases, it's going to cost you X amount of money. And we mark that up to make a profit out of that. So PR Web just works. It works for us. Jeanette, what is it? 250 or $260 for the SEO one? You remember?
Yeah, it's right around there.
It's right around $250. You could get the more expensive one, but typically we don't purchase the more expensive one unless it's a very, very competitive niche. And we also, you can also get if you do a little digging, if you're an agency, we have this. I know David set it up, but a number of our clients we work with, we basically buy a year package where it's much, it's discounted. And some of the packages we have, like for some of the financial markets we work in, that we can write a press release a day using PR Web. And when you look at it, it's not really that expensive. I think we're paying like $7,000 a year for that service. So and that's you can mark that up considerably. Jeanette is louder, audio is low to me. Let me try cranking it up. My voice is about out.
Yeah, the thing about the PR campaigns is you really want to make sure that you have a trackable URL to where when you put the URL in, you can actually put a tracking code in there, like a question mark, and then the you know PR web or something like that, so that you know where the traffic's coming from and things like that.
Thank you, Jeanette. Is my audio a little louder now? I just cranked it up a little bit more. I'm all the way up.
Oh yeah, you're all the way up.
Okay. I just cranked it up all the way. Now you're going to really hear the raspiness of my voice, I guess, right? We got a lot of great questions, guys, coming in. Keep them coming. You sound like Very White. I don't know who Very White is, but thank you. Is Marco from Schema.org?
You don't know who Very White is?
Yeah, I do. Is markup from schema.org very important in local SEO? And is it crucial for local SEO? Very crucial. This is from Janice Gentles-Jones. Yes, it's extremely important. And to do the schema.org coding for your address, that's a great website to learn about this. There's also, we go into quite a bit. Actually, Stephen goes into quite a bit more detail on how to do that. We spend a lot of time on our local search workshop working with that, but yes, it's critically important to do that.
Yeah, and one tip I would like to say is the thesis WordPress themes have some of the schema options built into them.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know that, Jeanette. Thank you. Does Google have some type of strategy for merging the Google Plus and Places accounts? Are they merging on an ongoing basis? Yes, they are. Do they have a strategy? I don't know if you call it a strategy. It's more of like I don't know. Just it's very aggravating. Sometimes the merge works out very well. Sometimes the merge doesn't work at all, and you've got to go back in and correct things, revalidate the account, re-verify, and it's a big headache. So is there a strategy? Yeah. Does it work? Not very well. And that's a question from Roger Matthews. How do you get, this is a question from Paul Nunn. Paul was on our call last week. I remember that last name. How do you get a Google Plus listing to show up in the SERPs where there is none yet? Well, you got to create a Google Plus account. That's number one priority. I would recommend hooking up your Google authorship profile. Very, very important. And then, of course, creating your website and optimizing your Google Plus account. Again, you want to optimize not only your Google Plus account, but you want to optimize your Places page, your Places account, and then, of course, your website. It's three things you're going to be working on in optimization. And each one of those properties have different optimization techniques. This is not a workshop class tonight about how to optimize all three, but basically that's what you got to focus on. And once they're all working and talking with each other properly, you're going to get up there and you're going to see them being listed. It takes a little time and effort to get properly set up, but once you got it running, it works very, very well. This is from Paul Nunn again. PR Web is more particular in what they accept. Yes, they are. What do we need to get it? What do we need to do to get acceptance in 2013? Write great press releases. The bottom line.
It needs
You
to
know,
be newsworthy. It needs
yes.
to be, you can't write a sales letter type press release anymore. Those don't work. They'll reject them. They do have some writing services available, or at least they'll review it for you. Um, but you want to kind of, if you can, tie it into something that's happening in the world currently that has to do with your product or the use for your product or service. Statistics or anything like that, and then how what your service, can benefit those people. That's not so much of a sales letter, but it kind of incorporates a story, and that's the best way to go about a press release.
And those of you that want more information about how to write press releases and things like that, again, Amanda's Vegas. She's uh, a PR whiz. I mean, she's great with public relations. Right now, I'm on our website, and this is the PR in a jar. In fact, we're going to be giving away 2 of these tonight. So, Paul, you might win this if you have the best question. But this is a 2 hours of video from Amanda we have on our website that we sell that for $49. You also get the book and the PDFs and all that stuff. And for whatever reason, the video isn't showing up here in the post. Might be because of the bandwidth, but recommend that if you want to learn more information on how to write a press release, how to optimize a press release, you might want to consider getting Amanda's program here on the website. Great, thank you. How important is your picture on your authorship icon? This is from Mark Lund. Do I really need to have a personal picture? I'm not Brad Pitt. Well, I'm not Brad Pitt either. I can promise you that, guy. Um, people relate. People like to do business with people. People don't like to do business with businesses, companies. So avoid, a company brand, a company logo. Try to make it a personal picture. Photoshop if you have to, but I'm out there, and I'm not the handsomest guy by any means. So go out there. People see that you're a real person. You're more trusting. People trust you more if they're able to see what you look like. And unless you're that guy holding up the sign asking for backlinks that we had here, you shouldn't have a problem. People see that you're for real. Okay, we still got time for more questions here, guys. So a couple more after this one if you got them. Again, the best question tonight's going to win the free PR in a jar.
I thought it was 2 questions.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, we're going to give 2 away. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Seems like reviews seem to show up and then disappear. Have you noticed? Yeah, we have noticed that. What can be done? I don't know what you can do. The bottom line is if Google feels that the review's kind of spammy, if it's solicited, if it's scraped, that it might discount it. What is the algorithm for that? I don't have a clue. We have a number of client sites that really got some great reviews. They're real reviews, come from the heart. And for some reason, Google just says, we're going to knock this one out. We don't like it. I don't know the answer to that, but it's going to happen. We see that quite often. And then the last question. When you set up a Google authorship account, this is from Pete. When you set up a Google authorship account, do you have to use a photo? If you have a photo, is there a problem with changing out the photo? And if so, will their image change cause any kind of Google love loss? No, you're not going to lose any Google love by changing out your image. Do you need to have a Google authorship photo? Yes. And this again should be a picture of you so people could relate to who you are, what you look like. It helps build trust. Pete, you're a good looking guy. Come on. All right. So, get a good photo, good headshot, try to make it clear, look like, they could trust you, and put that on your Google authorship account. Those of you not familiar how to set up a Google authorship account, we go into a lot of detail on our website. We have a whole, again, I think 45-minute video on how to set up Google authorship. And then, of course, we're going to be going into a lot more detail in our workshop. And let's see if we have any more questions. Okay. All right, just some things about the photos. We just answered that one. Okay, cool. Jeanette, we'll begin again here with the presentation, and let me grab a drink here real quick. And again, I apologize. I just like Arizona's so dry, you know.
You need to get some chloroseptic spray, Roy.
Yeah, I've used that last year and it helped out, and I was doing great
Yeah.
until the webinar for some reason. Hey guys, these are some of the comments we get from our alumni. This is Barbara Atkinson, training she received through our workshops, through the Phoenix SEO workshop, the Internet Marketing workshop. She really complimented. She was also at one of our paid workshops we had here in the house, at our home in our offices, and she says we're a shining star, and I really want to thank you for Barbara for saying that. Here's some things we got coming up. And there's going to be other instructors here besides me in case I lose my voice, but typically I don't. On March 8th and 9th, we have our SEO Essentials Workshop. It's a 2-day workshop for those of you that are just starting out with SEO, going up to intermediate SEO. We only have 3 seats left, and this is a hands-on workshop. We have a catered lunch, and we start out from beginner to intermediate. And those of you that attend the workshops, what we do is record our workshops and we give you the videos. We typically send those out to you about 2 or 3 weeks later. And what's really cool about that, if you guys attended, I'm sure, seminars and workshops before, you typically only remember maybe about 5 to 10% of what was given during the workshop. So you go home, with only 10% if you're lucky, and you forget all that other 90%. But by giving you the videos and the PDFs and all this, you can refer back to it later as you're working on your website and really, use this information to your full advantage. So again, only 3 seats left. It's $597 for the 2-day workshop, March 8th and 9th. March 16th, this is our most popular workshop. We only have 3 seats left for this one. It's again, a hands-on workshop. We have the catered lunch. This goes from beginner to intermediate, even to advanced, I would say. Again, you get the free videos. This is $297. We're located just outside of Phoenix. And so, if you've been putting off signing up, I don't recommend you, put off any longer because these are going to sell out probably within the next week or so. Then on the 22nd and 24th, we have 5 seats left for our advanced workshop. Again, it's a hands-on workshop, catered lunch for the 3 days. This is more from intermediate to advanced, a little mistake on the slide. And again, you get the free videos. So we have 5 seats left for that. If you want more information about our workshops, please visit our website, SEOtrainingsw.com, and click on that little workshops tab. Jeanette, who's our winners tonight?
Well, this one was kind of hard, but I was thinking Paul Nunn.
Okay, Paul Nunn.
And Roger Matthews.
Okay, Paul Nunn and Roger Matthews, please do me a favor. If you could email me your contact information along with your address, we'll get those shipped out tomorrow. The PR in a Jar workshop.